the gradient or slope of a line. A line that moves up from the bottom left of the graph to the top right has a positive slope. Obviously, a line can be quite steep with a large slope or quite shallow with a small slope. Sloping down from top left to bottom right is a negative slope or gradient. A horizontal line has a slope of 0, and it's worth reminding ourselves that any line that's horizontal, if for example it's passing through the y-axis at 2, just has the rule y equals 2, y equals a number. A vertical line, if that's 2 there, this would have the rule x equals 2, and that has an undefined slope, or we could consider it infinite. So we should remember those from year 9. When we talk about the slope of a line, it's how y changes in value as x changes. So if we pictured a graph where a plumber charges a call-out fee of $80 and then $100 an hour, as the hours, or x, go up, for every one that x goes up in hours, the cost would go up by 100, so the gradient of that slope is 100. If y is increasing as x increases, we have a positive slope. If y is decreasing as x increases, we have a negative slope. So we need to be able to say whether a slope is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. We also need to be able to find the slope. And the slope is how much a line goes up, its rise, by how much a line goes across, its run. If you've got a graph, that's pretty easy. From this point to this point, the line drops by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if our slope is rise, sorry, I'll get a better pen, rise over run, then because it drops, our rise is negative, it's actually negative 5, and our run going across with x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. So our slope is negative here, and it's negative 5 over 6, just saying for every 5 that it drops, we go across 6. You can also find the gradient, you'll remember, if you just have 2 points. M is the sign for the gradient, and the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And this is actually just rise over run, the change in y over the change in x. How far it's gone up or down over how far it's gone across. But we can use the formula just with the points. So you remember your steps are label the points, x1, y1, x2, y2. It doesn't matter which is 1 and which is 2, but make sure you've got x and y. Substitute your values in. y2 is negative 2, minus y1 is 8. x2, 5, minus negative 3. Stay on top of your positives and negatives, because of course that's negative 10 over 8. And it is best to leave any gradient as a fraction unless it comes out to a whole number. So my gradient is just negative 10 over 8 in this case. So you can find the gradient just with rise over run if you're able to see it on the graph. I could have taken these 2 points out and used this formula. That would always be fine. And you're always looking, if you're doing that, for 2 very clear points. Don't take a point down here or this one here that we can't see, you'd have to take a point that's on a grid line that we can quite clearly read as having exact values.